Alright guys, this is the last video breakdown of the week. We got Will's team, Life's a Breeze when you're free, man. Man, you're trying so hard with that name, bro. I don't like the name. Change it to Life's a Breeze. It sounds better. It flows. It's a cool name. You don't need to force it, alright? And then Nate you stole my Yahoo sports team's name. Hold on. You know what? I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I think my pre-draft name was Baker's Dozen in my other league, and then I changed it because I ended up not getting Baker Mayfield on the team. So I surrender the team name to you, Nate. I like it. Okay, so getting into the actual breakdown. Going into the week, I probably would have told you, you know what? Yeah, both these teams, I'm not liking the rosters, man. And I know it's early in the season, and things can take, a turn quick. But both these rosters are going to have some trouble. They're going to have some things. Y'all are going to have to make some waiver wire moves, some really smart, hard sit-start decisions, man, to come out of the holes that are just blatant in your rosters. And we can break that stuff down later, man. But right now, let's get into the matchup, okay? Drew Brees versus Baker Mayfield. I like Drew Brees here going up against the Rams. I know it's on the road, and Drew Brees struggles sometimes on the road, but against the Rams, he has been golden. I look for that to continue. Baker Mayfield looked awful against the Titans. The Jets are better defense than the Titans. I expect Baker to struggle again in the spotlight on primetime in Monday Night Football. Sony Michel versus Zeke Elliott. I think, obviously, Zeke's the bell cow there in Dallas, going up against a weak Washington defense. I really do like Sony Michel, and I think I even said that in my team breakdown of Will. So I don't know if you watched the video. I think you did. Took my advice. Good. You should have. I still think that Nate's running backs are better in the matchup, but I'm glad you took my advice. I think he's going to have a monster game versus Miami. Austin Eckler versus Marlon Mack. Again, the edge goes to Nate just because of the talent and the fact that, although I will say, were they 1 and 2? Eckler was 2. Mack was 6. Okay. Still, he put 25.4 points up. They were 2 of the rather, more impressive backs week 1. I like this is a push. This is going to be a push. So that matchup's a push. Nate, slim margin beats out Sony Michel. Drew Brees over Baker, big. Odell Beckham versus Antonio Brown. Man, okay, so this is so weird, man. The Antonio Brown saga just continues to roll on week to week. You never know what's going to happen. It would not shock me at all with just everything that's happened if Antonio Brown doesn't put up 10 catches and 3 touchdowns and 200 yards, and because of that, Nate just destroys Will. At the same time, I could see him punching somebody on the Miami team in the first 5 minutes and getting kicked off the team, and he's out of the NFL by the end of the week. I could see both of those things happening so easily against Miami. And you know what? I bet Miami thinks that too. And so it would not shock me if Miami comes out and just punches this guy in the mouth. And not literally, but just plays really tough physical defense against Antonio Brown. And because of that, and because of just the craziness that Antonio Brown has been, I'm going to go with Odell Beckham Jr. here. Although, and I've said it a million times, I don't like Odell Beckham Jr. with Cleveland, man. I don't think it's going to work. Whatever, Will. Whatever, man. All right, Calvin Ridley going up against Philly, and then Cooper Kupp against New Orleans. I think that's a push. I think Cooper Kupp scores probably 12 to 15 points. Same for Calvin Ridley. Both of them going up against decent defenses, but they're playing at home. I think both of them get 4 or 5 catches, like 50-something yards. If one of them scores a touchdown, then that'll definitely put them over the edge. Delanie Walker versus O.J. Howard. So, before the game even played, you can go back and check. I know because I talked to Will about it. I'm like 99% sure that I said, bro, sit O.J. Howard, start Jimmy Graham. Because Jimmy Graham scored Green Bay's only touchdown. It's a new offense. Aaron Rodgers is not a bad player, so he's going to be looking for the people he knows can get, when they get the ball in their hands, that they're going to secure it and that they're going to be able to make a play potentially after the catch. And for Green Bay, there's only 2 players that fit that description right now. And that's Devontae Adams and Jimmy Graham. So start Jimmy Graham. And this fool starts O.J. Howard against Carolina when I think literally the week before, Cameron Brate had a better game. And I'm like, bro, O.J. Howard, when has O.J. Howard ever proven to be a number 1 tight end? Like, he looks good. And, like, he looks like he should be a number 1 tight end. But I'm serious. Like, I have yet to be like, man, O.J. Howard put them over the top. That hasn't happened. Same with Njoku down in Cleveland. He's had a couple of games at least, but like I've never seen O.J. Howard with a good game. Am I tripping? Like I don't know if I'm just wrong and missed it, but I've never seen a game where I was like, man, O.J. Howard, he looked good right there. So, even beforehand, I could have told you O.J. Howard's going to have a bombshell game. I don't think he's going to have a good year. Wait till he has a good game, Will, and then sell high. And then Delanie Walker, man, he has just been someone that's been so consistent at the tight end position for years. He's Mariota's safety net. I really like him against Indy. Jarvis Landry and Michael Gallup. This is interesting, man, because Jarvis Landry is just a better receiver. In my opinion, I think Michael Gallup's got a great, future as a number 2 in Dallas for several years. But, in Cleveland, it's really just him and OBJ. Like, I don't see a third receiver in Cleveland that's really, like, stepping up versus in Dallas where they got Randall Cobb, Jason Witten. They have more weapons, I think, in Dallas. And so for that reason, I'm actually going the other way and saying Jarvis Landry is going to have a better game. But Michael Gallup still could have a monster game because Washington's terrible and the Jets' defense is pretty decent going up against Cleveland. Kyler Murray at Arizona, or plays for Arizona going into Baltimore. Jared Goff at home versus New Orleans. I like Jared Goff in this scenario because New Orleans Saints defense on the road. This game's going to be a shootout. Kyler Murray, rookie quarterback, going in on the road against a Baltimore defense that can be pretty stingy at times. I think that Kyler Murray could struggle. The Bengals defense up against the Jaguars defense. I don't like either defense in this scenario. I think Jimmy Garoppolo could have a big game against the Bengals, but it is on the road for him, so we'll have to see. But the Jaguars, man, the Bengals are at home. So Garoppolo's on the road, so it could be good news for the Bengals. The Jaguars, though, man, on the road versus Houston. That's my least favorite start for you, Nate. And look, I don't know if you're going to watch this video. I don't know if you're going to watch it in time, even if you do watch it. But I don't know if there's another defense that maybe you could pick up for a week and drop somebody like Ronald Jones, who should never start for your team. Drop Ronald Jones, pick up another defense, start them real quick, okay? You don't have a lot of time. You have less than 12 hours, in fact, from the time that I made this video. So, hopefully you see that before the games get started. But I would definitely get rid of the Jaguars D against Houston and try to put someone else in that position. So looking at the bench, man, I mean, again, I think so. Looking at the bench, like Will definitely has a better bench. Like it's not even close. Tony Pollard. This is Nate's defense. This is Nate's bench play. Austin Hooper, which is actually a really good tight end too, You may want to try to sell off Delaney Walker and Austin Hooper to somebody with a weaker tight end team, and try to package him with maybe Cooper Kupp or somebody, and get like an ace receiver. Because I would totally take Austin Hooper as my tight end too. I might even take him as my tight end 1, depending on who my tight end was. Will would, because O.J. Howard stinks. Okay, so maybe after this game, if there's no hard feelings, you can trade Austin Hooper. Because everyone else on your bench I absolutely hate, except for Golden Tate, who is suspended. So when Golden Tate comes back, that'll be really good. But other than that, man, I mean, he's just got you slayed on the bench. Devontae Freeman's sitting for him. Kenny Stills is sitting for him. The Eagles' defense is sitting for him, which they're on the road, so I'm okay with the sit. Mohamed Sanu is on the bench for them. Jimmy Graham, who should be starting, is on the bench for him. Giovanni Bernard is on the bench for him. John Brown's on the bench for him, man. He has got a good bench, deep. He's got a deep team. I thought it was a very mediocre draft whenever I was analyzing just the draft picks, but looking back at Will's team, like I see some really just steady picks throughout, right? Versus Nate's team, which, man, he took some gambles. Marlon Mack, Ezekiel Elliott, Baker Mayfield. I mean, sophomore slump much. Jared Goff coming off a Super Bowl loss, and then we haven't even talked about Antonio Brown, right? So a real gambling type team for Nate. They have him winning. I would not have said so Wednesday or Thursday morning. But with O.J. Howard laying a goose egg, it's basically 8 players against 9. And Will, I have every right to just say I told you so, man. And I will say I told you so when you lose to Nate, which is what I got, because you sat Jimmy Graham. And so, whatever, man. Just watch my videos next time, okay? Take something away. Learn something, okay? I know football's not your forte, okay? Well, I'll listen to you when it comes to, Fortnite or something, but you listen to me when it comes to Pokemon and fantasy football.